My name is Alex.
I'm Josh.
And this is Mario Alex.
We got a return guest.
Yes, Mario Alex's return. So that means today we must be talking about, I don't know, something silly like FIFA 2002 on the Nintendo GameCube or something like that.
Yeah, it has to be that.
Also a great game.
Perfect.
2001, though. Landon Donovan was on the cover.
Okay, all right.
Mechanics really got improved that year.
There you go. There's a big update in 2002. No, we're going to talk about Super Mario 64, which is an amazing Mario game. 3D game, launch title for the N64.
I would say it's a game that shaped probably most of our childhoods.
Oh, I think it destroyed some childhoods and some controllers in the process.
I think it shaped most people's childhoods around that time, whether you knew it or not. Even if you played something else, if you played another platformer, I think Mario 64 probably indirectly shaped kind of your childhood.
And if it didn't, you didn't have any friends that had a Nintendo 64.
And if it didn't shape your childhood, then were you even really a child? You know.
I'm trying to get
You can
past
keep
this.
you can keep going. You can keep going. I'm pulling it up on my phone right now, man.
All right, Mario 64 or Super Mario 64 was originally released in Japan
Release date of the N64.
and in North America we saw it.
American release of the N64.
So opening your brand new 64, you had to pick out a game. Well, guess what? You only had one choice. If you were a true gamer at heart, you only had one choice. Let's
and
be
you only
real.
needed one choice.
It was developed by Nintendo EAD, which is Entertainment Analysis and Development. It was also formerly known as Nintendo Research and Development Number 4 Department. And we get to play our favorite game of, is this studio still living? Or is this portion of Nintendo's studio still living?
Is Nintendo EAD still around?
You want to take a guess?
I'm going to take a gander and say it is not around.
I bet they are. I bet they're still making Mario 64.
They are defunct.
Ouch. Sadness.
They went defunct September 16th of 2015. So, honestly, fairly recently. All things considered,
Super Mario
this was like 10
Odyssey.
years
Yeah.
ago almost.
Had some real hard 64 fans that still wanted to
Yeah, there was
remaster.
Mario Odyssey. They were like, we're going to make Mario Odyssey. And then they were like, all of them were so crushed. They were all like, well, I guess the 64 development team isn't needed any longer.
Why don't we talk about the plot, Josh?
I would love to. They really cut against the grain on this Mario game. Bowser's kidnapped the princess once again in her own castle. Mario must collect stars to open up different levels of the castle so he can defeat Bowser and save Princess Peach because she's baked a cake for him.
She baked one big cake. We all saw it in the opening intro.
Yeah, she's like, I baked a cake. Please join me to eat this cake.
So looking at prices here, this is a popular game to say the least. It's still very popular.
It's pretty much one of the most sought after titles on the 64 along with GoldenEye and like Mario Kart. So
Yeah, you this is like a go-to game. Like you're just buying your 64 and everything. You need a game to play. You're picking Mario 64.
I truly don't think I know a person that owns a Nintendo 64 that does not own a copy of this game.
We know the prices are going to be up there because it's the game people
it's a
go
Mario
to.
game, it's a sought after game, and it's a Nintendo product.
So regular cart, loose, $38.23. It's pretty decent price for a loose cart. If you want a complete, however, it's $126.13. Now, Alex, you own a completing box copy, right?
I believe I own 3 of them, actually.
Just a couple, one or two.
Never can have too many,
if it makes you
right?
feel any better, I think one of them is the Player's Choice Edition.
Which is great, because let's talk about the pricing on the Player's Choice Edition. If you want a loose copy of Player's Choice, it's going to be $41.86. What? It went up. Complete, though, is $94.95. I don't understand this. It makes no sense.
Welcome to the world of collecting in boxed games.
And then we have the not for resale version of the game, which was probably most likely the in-store like
Demo carts. Yep.
If you find one of those, God bless your heart, right? Like I haven't never seen one in person.
N64, not for resale. N64 stuff is pretty rare in my opinion.
Not for resale copy of this. It's Cart only. There was no box or anything. $269.99. $270 to own this copy.
Honestly, if I was in third grade again, knowing that that copy was going to sell for that much in today's market, I probably would have worked a lot harder to steal one from my local Target.
See young Alex trying to break into
Going to every McDonald's and has one of those little N64 things being like, "Hi, can I have your copy of Mario 64, please?"
We have some other prices, but they're for the DS.
Whoa, they released it on the DS? That's crazy.
Josh, why don't you talk about that DS a little bit?
I would love to. So Super Mario 64 DS is a game for the DS. It's Super Mario 64, except it's not. It's different. They added 3 different characters you could play as, because in the 64 version you can only play as Mario, as God intended, and then on the DS version you can play as Luigi, Yoshi, and Wario, which they all have different like move sets. I think like Luigi can jump extra high, Yoshi can like eat stuff, whatever, right? So they've changed a bunch of the stars around to be revolving around those different power-ups. So it's like, if you want to do everything, you have to have every character unlocked, and you'll have to switch back and forth. So it changes up the content, it's cute. I like that it's different.
I've never played that one. Have you, Alex?
I have played it right before I burned my copy of it because it wasn't the original Mario 64.
Yeah, I think it's unique. I think it's fun. It's something they haven't done a lot of. The only thing that reminds me of it is like when they did Luigi Bros. U on the Wii U, where they were what if we did a Luigi version of the Mario game, stuff like that. But I think it's fun that they took an existing title and were like,
let's update it.
Let's fuck around with it a little bit, and change it around a little bit. But yeah, so the loose DS copy of the remake is $17.61, and a complete version of the DS copy is $21.45.
It's crazy. Like basically half the price of just getting your own N64 copy.
Yeah, but you're not playing. It's not the original, right? Because you can't just play as Mario. You have to play as Luigi and Wario and Yoshi and all those fun guys.
Also, Alex will probably come to your house and try to burn your copy.
I buy those copies from stores just so that way I can remove them from the market.
Destroy them. Yeah, one less in the world. And then there is a not for resale copy on DS, and that's $128.43.
Which is crazy. I didn't know they made one. Alex was talking about he didn't know that they made a not for sale copy of this version.
Yeah, that is true. I was really surprised at that, and I was surprised that the DS version was selling for actually as much as it was, because you would think that people would have to be paid to take that game.
Some big shade. Sorry if you like the DS remake of Mario 64. Speaking of remakes, there's one in here, Alex, you did not put on, and that is the Switch 3D All-Stars release. So loose copy of the 3D All-Stars release is 55, or complete is 56. Pretty much, it's pretty much right there.
To be fair, this also included Sunshine and Galaxy.
Yep.
Galaxy. So you are getting 3 of Mario's best 3D platformers for the same price. Slightly more than you could buy a loose copy of the original N64 copy. So if you have a Switch, I highly recommend seeking a copy of that out. If you
that would be my personal opinion, is to, if you have the Switch, go grab that. Don't worry about getting the original card or anything, especially if you're just out to play the games.
I definitely have the copy of that, and the controls are super smooth on it, and it looks great on the Switch too.
Yeah, it's really good. I played so much Sunshine when that came out. Yeah, the 3D All-Stars is super worth it. The issue with that game was they did the weirdest business strategy on planet Earth, where they were like, we're going to have this game be available for like 8 months, and then we're never going to make copies ever again. So if you want one, buy it now. Which is like such a weird strategy, but it worked. I'm sure they made like an insane amount of money by releasing this with a gated like window.
I want to talk about something just in general here. We're looking at this game fondly. We haven't really talked a whole bunch about it, but this is a childhood game for me, and I hold it very dear and near into my heart. I think I might have practically set my N64 on fire by the amount of time I spent playing this game in a given day. I don't know what it was like for you guys, but this was a game that, to this day, when I see anything about it, I'm just immediately interested. It doesn't matter how much content I've seen of it, what's happening, with it. I immediately am just drawn to hear about, Mario 64 news. Okay, I'm game. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, I know you hate the DS copy so much, but I was a child who did not have an N64 or anything like that growing up. So having a DS, it was super nice to be able to play something like that. And I think ports, in my opinion, are always really important to give access to people who didn't have that stuff.
So Alex, I know where he lives. We can just go in there and
Yeah, I'm
just
sure
like
he's
I
got
get
don't
it
it
for
have
you.
my childhood copy anymore. You guys don't have to come
I'm
beat me
looking
up.
at him, and he looks devious. I bet you he's got 2 copies of it just waiting to be burned.
I sleep with one under my pillow every night. Let the evilness seep into my mind. Yeah, there was something I played a ton as a kid, just playing as Yoshi and Wario and all my favorite Mario characters. No, but it's definitely something I really fell in love with. Same with once I had a chance to play Sunshine too. Definitely stemmed a lot of love for the 3D Mario titles. Honestly, to say this is the grandfather of all 3D platformers is just straight up the truth. We're not exaggerating or blowing that out of proportion at all. Launch title for the brand new 3D console on the block. And this game quite literally was, I think we talked about this before, but it was like the standard all platformers are kind of held up to being like,
I don't feel like
you have to be this good or else it sucks.
I don't feel like it was just platformers. I kind of feel like that was games in general. If you're thinking like when I was like, I'm just thinking like kid brain. At one point in my head, I was going, "Is it good as Mario 64?" I mean, the games I held in like high view at that time was GoldenEye, Pokemon Stadium 2, because I was a big Pokemon kid. But like, if it didn't meet the fun level of Mario 64, I don't think I really picked it up or even looked at it.
Wow, harsh. You looked at Glover, you were like, fuck you, Glover.
Yeah.
You're not Mario. Get the fuck out of here.
I think I might have said this the last time I was on, but I distinctly remember being friends with a guy because he had a Nintendo 64, and I didn't. I was like, man, I just want to be able to look around this world. For me, I think that having Super Mario 64 was like the basis of having more complicated games and like having replayability. The thing that I like so much about Mario 64 is that it's still so relevant today, and like there's still tons of speedrunning communities. There's still tons of people who are looking to still break the game, and there's still competitions for people to be able to go out there and do new things. And especially like on speedruns that are like, 16, 70, 120 stars. Like there's still so many things that people are trying to incorporate into those longer speed runs. And I don't think that there's really any community that's as large in the speedrunning community or that's been around as long as Super Mario 64.
Let me introduce you to Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
A lot of that is so unofficial and hard to keep track of, though. Especially once you hit 64 era, a lot of people we have access to like internet forums and stuff like that. Whereas like you look at like NES stuff like that, it's like some dude like there was like an arcade or something where it was like a bunch of buddies met up and they have written down their times they beat the game, stuff like that. It's just so hard to verify some of that older stuff. So shut down. And shut up, man. That's what I got to say to you about that. Sit down and shut up.
I have to agree with Alex. The speedrunning community for this game is phenomenal. I've watched, like, Something Salt's put out like a couple videos on it. I've watched those in depth. Games Done Quick that comes out each year and shows a bunch of people doing stuff. Like, usually there's a Mario
Twice a
64
year.
run. So whenever I see those pop up, I watch them. I really love the speedrunning community that is built around this game. It's super fun. Seems like people are really encouraging about like trying to like get into it or learn how to do it. I've seen like people like there's a couple speedrunners that would like teach their girlfriends how to do like the endless or the backwards jump up the endless stairs to like get to the final boss really fast. It just seems fun. Like it's something that I look at and go, I kind of want to try that at some point. I want to learn how to do some of this stuff.
I used to watch a streamer who he was not known for speedrunning at all, literally not something he did. Super Mario 3D All-Stars came out and he got into it and he would just like do like 20-star runs and stuff like that. Just like do like 30-minute runs, hour-long runs where he's just like, I'm just going to like get a bunch of stars, beat it quick and be done. Stuff like that. And it was really unique to see his whole like take on it not being like a speedrunner and stuff like that, learning the strategies and stuff like that. Well, let's talk about speedruns a little bit more, huh? What do you guys think is the fastest time for the 120 star run? So 120 is every star in the game.
Alex, why don't you
I'm
guess
gonna
first?
think about it. I'm gonna say, oh gosh, I know that there was a record that was set not too recently. I'm gonna say it's an hour 29.
I'm gonna say an hour 12.
These are both a little low. It's 1:37:35.
Okay.
He was really close though.
Just
Jeez.
over an hour and a half. Most recent run set 2 months ago for the world record.
Wow. Just shows how like relevant the speedrunning community is in this. Yeah.
What do you guys think about 70 star?
See.
So how many do you need to beat the game? Is it like 60 or something like that, or is it 70?
It should be it's 70 or 80. What is
Yeah,
it?
something
Probably
like
70. I would
Yeah,
guess.
to beat it
since that's the next
traditionally.
one.
that. Yeah, just to beat it. Yeah, you don't need to get all of them. Yeah, guess how much the 70 star run is.
I'll take a guess and say that since 120 was an hour and a half, this is probably like an hour.
It's way faster than that. I'm gonna say it is 39 minutes.
It's not too bad. 46 minutes.
Jeez.
The most recent world record for that was 5 days ago.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
didn't know
less
that
than
they
a
took
week
one.
ago, this dude got a
Wow.
run of 46 minutes. Okay, let's do 2 more. How about a 16 star run? Because I think 16 stars, how much you need to open the first
Yeah,
boss
the-
room or
yeah.
something like that, and then after that you kind of glitch through to get to the end.
16 stars is quick. I'll let Alex go first again because I don't think he has any idea.
16 minutes. A star a minute.
It's way faster than a star a minute. That'd be snail's pace. Let's go with 14.
1441.
I was close at least.
You were close at
Not-
least.
I mean, if we're looking at percentages, I mean, you're way.
Oh my
off.
god, take it a notch
yeah,
down.
yeah. Price is Right rules. You're fucking zero, dude. Doesn't count at all. How about 0 star runs? Pick up 0 stars and beat the game.
5 minutes.
I'm gonna go with 4 minutes and 36 seconds.
Okay, Alex, you win is 6.5.
No,
6.5.
I feel
minutes.
dirty.
Feels good.
I don't even know. What do you even? You just have to I'm sure door glitch through a bunch of stuff or
I've
something
seen
like that.
people do it. It's just basically
it's
glitching.
a whole bunch of backwards long jumps. You
I'm
start in
sure.
that room with I believe you start in the room with like that pool, and then you can glitch through a door. I think the 16 star one is the one where you need to capture the rabbit so you can glitch through that wall.
Oh yes, I do know what you're talking about. Okay, he's
But
going
yeah, 0
in.
star that you don't need to. 0 star you
He
just do a whole
goes-
bunch of backwards long jumps.
Oh what? Okay, so he goes down to the basement, then he glitches through a wall.
Yeah, you have to start on the stairs so that way you have a downward slope.
Yep. Then he just glitched through the whole thing. I cannot even describe what I just watched. He's in like a little backwards zone. So he's like in the stairs. He clips up. He's in this little, you walk into the castle, they have little pedestals where the coins are. He's behind one of those. It is glitching him out hard. He shoots across the wall to the door where you enter the castle, freaking out still. He glitches through the wall and it just shoots him straight into the boss arena to like go fight Bowser. It's like insane.
See, that's what looks so fun to me. It's just like, man, that's wild. Like, who were these people that figured this out at first? Like, who knew that you could do this? Like, I'm sure like it was step by step, but like, man, that that's just crazy. There's like a lot of like I would say like SNES to N64 era games that have like wild speedrunning communities. Punch Out's one I think of a lot. And
Well, it helps that a lot of these games are just like held together by like glue and duct tape. It's very much there's a lot of slipping through the cracks when it comes to stuff like this. It is not hard.
if
to,
it
like-
wasn't for this extra 1 and 0, the whole game would fall
right,
apart.
it's like I'm sure there are a ton of kids out there who are like, "Oh, I got stuck in the wall. Whoops, I broke my copy of the game. Now Mario's stuck behind this wall." And I bet there are speedrunners who are out there like trying to recreate like some kid just did like a crazy glitch and that's like speedrunners never hit or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird to think back on like those times when you're playing and you're like, oh, I fell through this wall and got into this room. It's so crazy.
And then people are like, yeah, that's the speed strat. That saves 30 minutes in the run, something like that, right?
Or they're like, I've never seen anyone do that before.
Yep.
That's why I
Okay.
think it's so fun that like it's all recorded now and people like look to make sure. And you got kids now on Twitch that are just streaming them playing, and like lo and behold, they do something that's never been seen, and like the speedrunning community freaks out and they go and try to recreate it all.
Speaking of never been seen, I think the most ridiculous speed runs like of all time are 60 Mario or Super Mario 64 blindfolded speedruns.
Yeah, those are
like
insane.
that's just
I've
not
yet to watch
healthy.
one of these. I really want to. From
We'll
hearing
send you
you
a
guys
link or
just talk
something.
about
Yeah,
it.
it's like a lot of it's like sound based too. So they'll be like they'll go to the room at GDQ and they'll be like, everybody shut up. He needs to hear the game like really badly. And so sometimes he'll screw up and die because he couldn't hear something he wasn't sure. But it is really interesting to
It's
watch.
interesting that they just don't wear headphones at that point.
I don't know. Sometimes they do. I think obviously like normally when they're training and stuff like that. But so I wanted to go over with everybody and ask, what is your favorite level from the game? There's 15. And then there's like some castle secrets and stuff too, but there's 15 main like big worlds.
Cool man. I like racing the penguins.
He likes racing the penguins.
Also
down
like
the
trying to
slide.
do the speedrun jump where you like skip like 95% of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I die every time. I can't do it, but I try so much.
I'd have to say, like, my favorite level is Wet Dry World, just because it has the biggest aha movement of, like, when you finally start cracking the level open.
Yeah, I really like Wet Dry World because I like that it's like this contained thing. It's not like, Thwomp's Fortress or Bomb's Battlefield where it's just like, here's this big open
Bomb's
field
Battlefield's
and
so
a mountain
good,
and
though.
blah, blah, blah. I like that Wet Dry World is this little box and you're in this little box. I like that a lot. What's everybody's favorite star mission?
I would say I don't have any one particular favorite star, but my favorite is just like the sect of stars where you have to like, hey, I have to get all the way through this level to get to the very end to like have an attainable goal. Like,
Yep.
you know what you need to do. It's like, okay, I have to get to this point, beat this boss, and I know that I earn a star.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Bomb's Battlefield. They have the cannons and you can like launch yourself.
Yeah.
There's like one star it's really hard to get, but like I remember as a kid I just kept trying and eventually one day I got it. And man, that felt really good.
Yeah, I like some of the just like platforming ones. So like Snowman's Land, it's like climb up to the top of the snowman or whatever. I really like that one. Just something simple like that where you know what you're supposed to do. How about everybody's favorite music track?
Press play on start a game. There you go. That's it. The whole thing.
I like the Dire Dire Docks. I think maybe it's Jolly Roger Bay, but I think it's Dire Dire Docks. Like just like the chill music.
I would say that I don't have so much a favorite soundtrack as I just don't think that there's anything as satisfying as getting a star in that game.
That's true. You guys played Odyssey all the way to the like Mushroom Kingdom level.
Of course.
Alex is making a face.
I'm trying to think of how far I got in Odyssey. I didn't complete Odyssey.
Sure, it's like this is like end of the game. Why this guy didn't play the best Mario game of the past 10 years.
I got through most of it, I think.
You go to the Mushroom
think.
Kingdom, and instead of moons, they're stars. And when you pick them up, they make the Mario like Bam! Yeah, they make
That's
like the
really
Mario
good.
64 noise. It's really good.
Odyssey was a wild game.
You
Amazing
wouldn't
game.
know you didn't finish it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was so wild, he didn't even know what to do. I really associate this era 3D gaming with it's going to be kind of a left turn with like spooky stories, right? You've got stuff like Ben Drown, Majora's Mask, stuff like that. A lot of these early 3D games have that spooky look, as we and that gets used to great effect. I feel like on PS1 a lot. Your Silent Hills and your Resident Evils
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's like it looks kind of like crap, and that's what makes it scary. But there's something to be said for a lot of those scary stories, stuff like that, because it is like it feels very unnatural when you just walk into those like you're in a field, and also the field just ends, and there's just like infinite sky, right? It's just like these hugely empty worlds that are just like in this game. It's like, and it also leaves you so many questions like, okay, Peach's castle just has this painting, and I can just go in the painting, and the painting has another world. Where'd she get these paintings from? Did she?
Who painted them?
I have questions about the paintings in the castle. Is Peach keeping these people hostage in their paintings? What is going on here? Dude, if I was Bowser, yeah, I'd want the infinite dimensional portals too. Yeah, I'd like to keep those for myself.
Like Odyssey, I never completed this game as a kid.
Okay.
But
Tell me you
I've
completed it
watched.
now. Tell me you completed it now.
I've watched the game be completed.
Wow.
A ton.
All right, dude. This guy's never played a Mario game in his life, I don't think.
Have you ever beat a Mario game?
Yes, I've been in 1, 2.
Wow, great accomplishment.
Oh my god. Why is it every time we have you on, you're
hold
bullying
on,
me
hold
about?
on. I have a question about you beating 1. Did you beat 1 or did you like take the warp worlds?
Oh my gosh.
No, I
you
actually
warped.
beat 1.
Well,
Okay.
great job. You beat all 20 levels
I know.
that take approximately 60 seconds.
Mario 2 is still better than 3 in my opinion, and I'll
Wow.
stand by that. I'm trying to think of all the Mario games I have beaten.
It's so weird that you can't name one that you beat.
I've literally named 2.
It's so weird.
I mean, can we really count Mario 2 as a Mario game?
I've beaten Sunshine
Okay.
twice. I
Okay.
love that game.
Yeah, that game's amazing.
I never got to play Galaxy at all, so that's why when the 3D
I never played
Superstars
Galaxy
came
except
out,
1 or 2 at all.
No handheld.
handhelds. I've beaten. Oh, what's the
6 golden coins. Please tell me you've played 6 golden
Dude,
coins.
Super Mario Land, good one.
what's the? Is it Mario and Luigi Superstars?
Yep.
Superstar
Superstar
Saga.
Saga.
Is that the DS one?
That one is for Game Boy Advance.
There's
What was the DS one?
Bowser's Inside Story.
No, I didn't play that.
There's just like is that just Super Mario Land for DS?
New Super Mario Bros.
Yeah,
New
New
Super
Super
Mario
Mario
Bros.
Brothers. Yeah,
Yep,
I've
yep,
beaten
yep.
that. I'm trying to
Super
just
Mario
think of the
3D
names.
Nintendo.
Land, Mario and Donkey Kong, Mini Land Mayhem, Super Mario RPG.
I beat Super Mario,
Paper Mario.
on e-reader.
Yeah, there's not a lot to be said.
I beat Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy. Oh, my liege. Right this way, sir.
Yeah, needless to say, I've played a bunch of Mario, but some
Just
games I
haven't
have
been good enough
not
to
beaten.
beat a Mario.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go beat like 6 Mario games after this just for fucking points.
Are you gonna beat Super Mario Brothers 2 6 times in a row and
On
count that?
on the e-reader.
They didn't make it on the e-reader. Why does no one care about my accomplishment?
He's gonna go play Super Mario World on the Game Boy Advance, but he's just gonna play the Mario Bros.
Yeah, he
like
probably-
mini game.
Yeah, he also needs the Game Shark, I'm pretty sure, to get some infinite lives.
I mean, not a Mario game, but I've beaten Wario 3, Wario Land 3.
Amazing game.
Amazing game, yes.
that was original
Boy.
Game Boy, yeah.
Yeah,
Boy,
original
yeah.
Game Boy.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into some fun facts about this game, of which there are many. Miyamoto thought of a 3D Super Mario game during the production of Star Fox in 1993. He was like, do a barrel roll. He's like, Mario could do a barrel roll. This seems pretty good. Development lasted almost 3 years. They spent 1 on design and 2 on production.
It was it was a year on design, 20 months total, but it was practically 2 years.
Sure. As of 2015, almost 12 million copies sold. I assume that's not just 64 numbers. It's probably like Virtual Console and stuff
Yeah.
like that too. Yeah, it was remade on the DS, Super Mario 64 DS. I kind of mentioned that. It's got the 3 new different characters, and the missions are all kind of changed around. Yeah, so this kind of started Mario's 3D era. There would be future Mario titles that are kind of split between either one or the other. You have like the level based of like Mario 3, and then you have the 3D based of like Mario 64. So you've got like New Super Mario Bros., Mario 3D World, which are more of the level based, like Super Mario 3 style. And then you've got Sunshine and Galaxy 1 and 2 and Odyssey, which are more of the story-based, big, wide, open world, 3D platforming level stuff.
Also,
like
I want
that.
to touch on like from Mario 64 to Sunshine. That was like 6 years.
Is the longest time we haven't had like a mainline Mario game.
But
was
like
6 years.
The vast difference in like video game quality.
If I made you play all the video games, the Mario games in order, like 3 to 64, you'd be like, well, that's kind of like a big jump. Like stylistically, I'm playing 64 to Sunshine. You'd be like, "Holy, what happened in 6 years? Holy crap! We became a different society in 6 years."
It like we were talking about it. I'm just like, this is blowing my mind. I can't believe that was a 6-year difference. In my head, that feels at least like 15 years.
No, it was not. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to think too. Like if you look at like Mario, like if they release a Mario game today and then they release a Mario game like 60 years ago right now, like they're pretty comparable. Like, but if we would have had that big of a jump every 6 years, would be like we would be Mario.
Yeah, exactly correct. We would have like VR Mario. You are Mario now.
It'll come. It'll come
One day, one day we can all be Mario. See, they have the year of Luigi back in the good old Wii U days. When is the year of Mario? Was there a year of Mario?
Every year is year of Mario.
So we get what? Luigi gets 1 year and Mario gets the rest? That
Yes.
seems like total bullshit. When do we get a year of Peach? Do we get a year of Daisy or Wario or
As long
Waluigi?
as Mario can also still have those years.
Mario's like, Luigi gets a year only if I get every other year. That's the deal. I want another year Luigi. Those games, dude, Luigi Bros. U is an amazing game. They just made New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe way harder. They were like, what if it was harder? That's what Luigi deserves. They were going to make a sequel to this game called Super Mario 64 2. Great title, by the way, for the game.
Yeah. We thought real hard about this.
Kind of similar to, Super Mario Brothers 2.
And Super Mario Land 2. Really, with the naming conventions here.
Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy 2.
It was being developed for the 64DD, which is the disk drive, but it's canceled because the disk drive stopped being a thing. It didn't really get made. There were like prototypes made. I don't think it ever really saw production big time.
So there were Japanese prototypes made, and there's a good amount of them, plus the games. However, there were no North American copies until Metal Jesus found one in Seattle. And it is, as of right now, I believe, I don't think they found another. I believe, as of right now, is the only North American 64DD in existence. Try to
Gross.
put a price on that.
Yeah, insane. Well, that was the whole thing. So the DD, they were like, they were developing it with Sony, right? That was kind of the whole deal there. Because it was going to be called the Nintendo PlayStation. And then,
No, that's the SNES.
Oh, that was the SNES. Right, the SNES was going to be the
Yep.
Sony PlayStation. Or the Nintendo PlayStation. And
The
then Sony
DD, if I remember right, was they looked back on the Famicom disc,
Sure.
and they're like, oh, with more computing technology, we can upgrade
have
that.
the technology. And
So
then they
that's
didn't.
where a lot of that was
And then
coming
they did
from.
not. There is some unused content that was not put in the game. They were going to put the Blarg in from Super Mario World on the SNES, which was like the lava dragon dude who comes up and he goes Blarg.
Could you do it one more time, just for
He's named after the noise he makes.
Blarg?
Imagine if we called cows like moos, like Blarg. Yeah, that's a moo.
There goes the
Blarg.
boo.
Blarg. That's what he went, man. He'd jump up and go Blarg. And it was scary every time.
Another fun fact is that there's always the mystery of the 121st star, and that there is coding in the game for the 121st star, but as of date, it is unattainable. But they do know where it's located.
Where is it located?
Bottom of Cool Mountain, I believe.
Yep, it's in like a distance space in the middle of the penguin race of Cool Mountain.
Interesting. So it's just this like liminal zone in the middle of a big empty place, essentially.
Yep, and so people have passed through it, but Mario isn't able to acquire the.
Okay, very
isn't able to
interesting.
acquire it.
Yeah.
Is there like lore behind why they would do? They're just like the final star, or who knows? Pretty much.
I don't think not to my knowledge at least, that nobody knows why it is there.
Sure.
Because it is in a completely,
Yeah.
basically ungettable spot to anybody that isn't going to dedicate 1,000 hours to trying to get to it.
Sure. Very interesting. Yeah, because it's kind of like, were they going to add more stars than 120? Was it meant to be like the final star, or like very
You
interesting.
wouldn't think that you'd have the 121st, the holy grail of stars in Cool Mountain.
Yeah, right. Super weird that it's like not just like in the castle or something like that. Some kind of secret.
So yeah, there's like a bunch of like ways to collect the 121st star. There's the unused level 99, which is a level of files. Toad's Tool 64 star, which it's an emulator that allows you to get it. Princess's Secret Slide 100 coins.
Interesting.
This is impossible in regular copies without glitches, so a lot of this requires glitching. There's like
A half A press and stuff like that. You guys ever seen that video?
Yeah.
The guy's like, he's like, I do 100 half A presses, And everybody's like, it's an N64. That you're either pressing A or you're not. He's like, no, I'm doing a half A press. I'm not fully pressing A.
And then what's the other big rumor is Luigi in Super Mario 64. That like he's somehow in there and there's a way to unlock him, but no one knows.
There's only so much space to hide Luigi in an N64 cart, and it's been taken apart, dissected.
Yeah,
put
I mean,
together,
at this
upside
point,
down.
it just isn't a thing, right? I mean, there's some stuff, like we look at modern games, to bring up one of my recent favorites, Destiny 2, there's a raid in which you can enter wishes into a wall. There's 15 wishes. 14 of the wishes have been discovered. The 15th wish, nobody knows. And it is like a board with, you have to enter a code, essentially. And people have dissected, and the 15th wish, who knows, right? So it's one of those things that sometimes in modern games, I have faith that it's like, yeah, there's something that exists here, but we just don't know what it is, or it has to be dissected more. Something like this where, yeah, it's been taken apart, put together, people have glitched and checked every single thing you can interact with and see and blah, blah, blah. If it existed, we would have found it, I feel like. Until Miyamoto comes out one day, he's like, nobody ever found Luigi in Mario 64. Oh my god, he's in there. Fuel the full
Except
the
that
fire.
he's come out and said there is no Luigi.
Yeah, he's like, there's no Luigi.
Yeah. So in 2000, a rumor spread up on sm128c.com.
A very reputable
Yeah, I
site.
was just going to say, of everybody, that's where I get my news from. So
It stated that the statue in the fountain has secret message reading L is real 2401.
yeah, L is real.
Or
I've heard
which
that
people
before.
said that stood for Luigi is real February 4th, 2001. Well, there is no Luigi in Mario
And on
64.
February 4th, 2001, the most insane thing happened. Nothing.
Paper Mario released as the last N64 game on the system. Yeah!
Let's go. Yeah.
Luigi is existent in that game, so L is real in this game.
It's just like, Luigi is real. Yeah, I know he's real. It's like, yeah, Luigi exists.
Tell me something I don't know.
Luigi does exist. That is a fact that I would agree with.
I was wondering how many third graders wrote down that message and was looking for dozens and dozens of hours.
As you
trying to
tell
find some
your little
superstar.
brother, if you run around the fountain 500 times, Luigi will spawn. And you run around. Oh, how many times you run around it? 500? Well, you must have miscounted because Luigi didn't spawn, so run around another 500 times. It feels like something to be like, if at midnight, if you go to Boo's stage and you get eaten by the piano at 12 a.m. exactly, Luigi will spawn and you can play as Luigi.
Coincidentally, the source code leak containing the Luigi model happened 24 years and 1 month, 2401. 2401. 2401. Isn't that wild?
We found models of Luigi in Mario 64. He's been crucified. That's the only model Luigi on a super bizarre, but you can't play as him. But there's a model
Look, that
of
leak was
Luigi
not a
dead.
leak. Miyamoto was just posing as some rando on there. And it's like,
Miyamoto's-
I got a leak.
I went through the data and Luigi's in there, but it's like in my copy he's not. He is. He's in my copy. I saw him.
We've got like a Wreck-It Ralph situation where somebody
he's gone
attacked
turbo.
the video game and
He's gone
went turbo.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of like this Luigi is real rumor. It reminds me so much of like Minecraft's Herobrine rumor. Where like,
They
oh,
put it in the-
Herobrine's in the game.
They put him in the patch notes every time Herobrine has been removed.
Yep. Do you know about Minecraft at all, Alex? I know it's out.
the
They didn't do a
only-
Mario skin for it, so I don't know if it reached.
Oh,
you.
then I'm gonna get into
There's
it.
a Mario pack on the Switch release. So
The only thing that I've watched on it is I've watched some world record speedruns, but I've probably watched more faked runs when people dissect faked runs and what people do to fake runs on
shout
Minecraft.
out to Dream, the most notorious fake Minecraft speedrunner.
Man,
Yeah, so there's like this evil entity quote in the game called Herobrine who can just show up in God mode and kill you and
yeah,
steal your
he
items
just
or whatever.
murks you. That's all he does.
And it's like,
But he like stalks you at first, so you like get freaked out, and then he just murks you.
well, so like, it's a cool idea because it's like, what if you played Minecraft by yourself and then some dude showed up and murdered you in like a solo game? That's like a terrifying concept, right? If you were playing a single player game and then some dude showed up and was like, "Hey, what's up? You're dead." That's scary. And so yeah, there was like ongoing gag every time they do patch notes. It'd be like, "Hey, we removed Herobrine from this release of Minecraft, so you don't have to worry about Herobrine now." But it's not a thing. But it's funny. Let's talk about our favorites, not Minecraft. but Mario 64.
Let's talk about Minecraft. No. Alex, why don't you start us off?
What's your favorite level for Minecraft?
My favorite level is C negative 2684882461036824.
I'm more of a Y100 Z138X5 guy. So
All right. Anyways,
Anyway,
Alex,
you know,
your
I'm
favorites
just really
on Mario
fan
64.
of Mario. The reason why we're here to talk, whatever. I would say my favorite thing about this Mario game is that it went from being like going from left to right to needing to explore every single nook and cranny of the game to be able to actually find what you need to be able to do. And that to me was just like really cool that you had to like go and explore, and you got really rewarded for like going out of the way, or like, hey, I think that there's a way to get on top of this tall box. And then when you finally figure out a way to get on top of that tall box, you get rewarded with a star.
I remember when I first learned to like back jump and get to higher places. I was like, "Oh my god!"
yeah, the long jump, super game changer.
The other thing that's pretty neat too is like that's the first game where you had to like plan out your distance away from items. It's like, okay, like, the stars, you have to like back up, you have to do a triple jump into a wall jump to get off this, and like
Yep.
you have to be able to time how far you're going to be able to do it across that.
Yep.
Which was really, really unique at the time.
Tell me if I'm going crazy. Mario 64, they have the hint cameras, right? Like when you load into a
Crazy, I say.
They have the hint cameras when you load in. They kind of give you an idea of where the star is, or where you're like, yeah. So it's like Thwomp's Fortress, kill the big Thwomp. It'll show you the big Thwomps on top of the thing, right? Like,
Right.
okay. See, I like that because I think it's really intuitive, because it's like they don't really tell you. There's no like tutorial that's like, here's how to do this. I mean, there's a little bit, but nothing super intensive. So I like that they're like, even if you were a kid, right, building it foolproof, go into a level, it's like defeat King Bob-omb. You're like, well, I don't know where the fuck that is. And then they're like, he's way up on the mountain. You're like, oh, perfect. I have to go to the top of the mountain and kill King Bob-omb. So it's nice that they give you like these little hints that you've never played the game before. They're still going to give you an idea of like, kind of go in this area.
The only thing that I would say that I disagree with about that is that, like, sure, like, now in today's world, like, what are you going to do if you really can't solve something? You're going to type it into YouTube. But,
yeah.
I mean, when you're a third grader trying to figure out how to get the 5th of the 6 stars in this level,
Yeah.
you're like, I feel like I've explored every single thing I could do, and you just can't figure out.
I'm trying to
what
think of
do.
tough
I did that
ones.
into games today where I'm like, I've gone all over this, and I finally end up having to like give up because I hate looking up the answers. I just like lessens the greatness for me.
And I'm trying to think of ones that are like that. So I always think of I think this is Thwomp's Fortress, when you have the little corner, the stars in the corner of the wall, and it's like you have to get in the cannon, shoot yourself at the corner of the wall. There you go. I just feel like they would not, and it's called like hole in the wall or whatever. It's called like chip in the wall or something. So it's like something about the wall, but it's like if you had no clue what you were doing, it's just like, yeah, shoot yourself into this wall for no reason.
Yeah, there's a... Oh, yeah, that you have to shoot the cannon into
Yeah, it's
it.
like the little corner of the wall.
Yeah, how are you going to
breaks them.
possibly figure that out when you're a 5th grader?
Yeah.
There's one, and I
Somehow we did though. I just want to put that out there.
I
Somehow
did
we
because
figured
my
it out.
friend showed me
Yep.
how to do it.
But how'd your friend figure it out, huh?
His friend showed him how to
Hey,
do it.
Then how it is, Fridge.
One
The
of these,
user guide.
well, yeah, I was gonna say one of these people had to have the guide that showed you how to get all the stars.
There's one. It's I can't remember what level it's called. It's the green one. It's got little bugs, but like you have to like wall
The
jump.
cave. Yeah, the cave.
Are you talking that one? Like that star is unfindable if you were in 3rd grade.
It's on top of all the things in the
Yeah, right.
cave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfindable.
that level sucks. That level's really bad in my opinion. All the like that, it's got all the eyeballs and stuff too. I think in that one room. What's your least favorite level?
Just talked about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically. No, see, this is a problem. Like, I don't know them all by name, but there's one where you're climbing a mountain.
Tall
And
Mountain. Where the
probably
monkey,
Tall
where the
Mountain.
monkey steals your hat. There's like mushrooms and stuff you got to jump on.
There's the piranha plants that are in the way and everything.
Are you talking about Womp's Fortress?
Maybe I don't know what they're called. I know it.
Has
I
the big thwomp that like slams down on the side of the stairs.
yeah, I think so.
It's got the elevator and the thwomp on top.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or sorry, not the thwomp. The guy who falls over. It is thwomp, right?
Yeah, it's
Thwomp's
Thwomp.
Fortress.
I think it's Womp.
Yes,
Oh
thank
my
you.
God.
Womp's
With the W.
Fortress. Yeah, Thwomp is the big guy who goes.
Arr!
He doesn't go. Blur. That's the blur.
We just need to get like you to like go through every Mario character and just make their noises.
You guys want to hear my Red Bomb voice?
Let's hear it.
Could you please go through every color of Yoshi, please?
I don't know what. Do they all sound different? Am I insane?
No, they don't. They all
Okay.
sound the same.
Something like that. That's not too far off.
Passable.
It's him eating the fruit.
Can you do the Yoshi jump noise?
Something like that. It's not perfect,
I
but
think he was doing it on the pot just a little bit earlier too.
I had practice, so.
That's Wario's on the pot voice.
Yeah.
He's got Wario's laugh down perfectly.
I'm not going to do the Wario. I thought about it. I very much thought about doing the Wario laugh. So my favorite part of Super Mario 64 has to be like just the movement. Like the game controls really well, even for being like an N64 game controller, which is notoriously designed to be bad.
How do you hold it?
Designed for aliens.
Yeah, purposefully like a bad controller, but even then the game controls super well. We talked about it earlier, but the port like on Switch controls like perfectly. Even on Wii, it was one of the most popular virtual console games in the Wii and the Wii U. Not only did it kind of define what platformers should be, it still holds up today as an example of like a great platformer that just controls amazingly. You can look at stuff like modern platformers like A Hat in Time, or there's a game called Unbox, where you just float around as a box and stuff like that. But even Mario Odyssey, like honestly, the controls are pretty much a stone's throw away. It's pretty much like they perfected what a 3D Mario movement should look like, and then they were like, we'll tweak it like a little bit, but pretty much we don't need to change that much.
I think we're all happy too that like Nintendo doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's like, okay, what have you done for the past 20 years?
Yeah, if they
Let's
released
do this and make it
if
better.
they released a new Mario game and they were like, we gave Mario tank controls, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? It was fine how it was. You didn't need to change the controls for Mario. We know what it should be. But the one thing I would say is my least favorite thing, and something we kind of haven't mentioned, is the camera controls, which suck really bad.
Yeah.
They nailed the platforming. They nailed kind of the level design. The one thing they did not nail is how to control the freaking camera, especially when the controller has one stick. It is kind of a nightmare to pilot that on certain, like, especially later levels like Tick-Tock Clock or Rainbow Ride, which is like a lot of movement intensive. You need to know where you're going and prepare for like jumps and stuff like that, and that can be pretty tough.
Yeah, that's its one. That's its black eye.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
its
much.
Achilles tendon.
Favorite thing about Super Mario 64, something that we haven't talked about yet.
In
Even.
your short time
Oh,
with the
please.
game.
Please, don't even. This is something that everyone can just enjoy the moment they load it up, and that's being able to move Mario's face on like the beginning
Okay.
screen.
It'll be a little fun thing to play with in the beginning.
Yeah, like all right,
I
seriously,
did not
what
know
other
about
Mario
that
game?
for the longest
What
time.
what other Mario game have you ever had that they just were like, here's something you can do, just preemptively, have fun with. I've known people that literally will load up the game and play with that for like half an hour before they even press start.
I can name one other Mario game that does. It's not exactly what you're describing. It's the I think it was New Super Mario Bros. Had the Luigi Casino where you could play mini games.
I was gonna say Mario Party definitely has that as.
One of the 64 Mario parties and the remake of Superstars has one where it's like you have to move Bowser's face.
Yep.
And it's like
Really?
so it's like the 3D style. So it's like they fucked up his face, and it's like, okay, move Bowser's face to match how we fucked it up.
Oh,
So it's quite
all
literally
right.
like the Mario 64, how
I
you
think
stretch the face and
I think
stuff.
it's Mario 3.
I think it was Mario 3,
Mario Party
and
3.
then they remade it in Mario
Yep.
Party Superstars.
But still, it's like, something so simple, but yet it's like super memorable about the game. Is that because every time you load it up, you just get it. I think that a lot of people will look back on that and go like, I remember that the most because it was just so unheard of and original.
Some people remember that's the most because that's how much they played the game. Alex.
I got past it. I found the start button. No, my honestly, my favorite part about the game is just like how vast it feels. For an N64 game, I've played some rough N64 games that are supposed to be like super big and stuff. Like Quest 64 comes to mind. If either of you have ever played through that any amount, just to get out of the castle feels like you just took a half-hour tour through like some
Yeah,
weird downtown.
I played Glover for a while, and after like 30 minutes playing this game, you're like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know if this is what I'm actually doing correctly.
The great thing about Mario 64 is the fact that like you can have that vastness, but at the same time, like you're like, I know the general direction I need to go. At no point do you feel completely lost, where you're like, where do I even start? You know, because you start outside the castle, you know, you got to get into the castle, and from there, there's just doors. So you start going to every door. Eventually, you find a painting, and eventually, you're like, bam, you're into the level. Like, even if you're, like, lost, you can't get that lost. At some point, you will notice that you can get into other things.
Another thing that would be one of my downsides is, and I mentioned this earlier, just how empty the whole, like even the castle feels. It's like there's toads,
Yeah.
but it's like they just stand there, like in the corner. And I think they really nailed that with like later games, like Sunshine, where it's just like, yeah, even when you go into a level, it's like there's a bunch of dudes in the level, and you're gonna like talk to people and stuff like that.
And for the most part, a lot of times in Sunshine, they're even doing stuff. Like, I remember watching them, like, you know, like pretend to, like, trade fruit and stuff. But yeah, the vastness, I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the replayability of the levels. You could always go back to, like, any level and play through it and just have the same amount of fun you did the first time. There's a lot to 64 that I really enjoyed. Half the time, the reason I didn't really get to progress through it is because I was star hunting. I was going back and replaying the same levels over and over again. And by that time, you know, like, I played the living crap out of 64. I got, you know, pretty far into it, but, like, I wanted the stars. I wanted to get, like, as many stars as I could get. I think I knew there was at least 5, and then, like, later, obviously I know now there's 7. But, like, as a kid, like, just getting 5 stars out of each level, that was a huge accomplishment at the time.
You guys want to hear my Pianta impression?
I do not.
Okay, perfect.
The other-
It's kind of got like a Banjo Kazooie thing going on.
One other thing that we haven't talked about is I love in like the main part of the castle, like how many things you can interact with. Like, so you don't have a lot of characters, but you have a lot of environmental things that you get to do. Like when I first found out that like I could drain the moat, I was like, this is the best thing I could possibly do with my life.
Yeah, I like that it's not just like levels. I like that there are hidden stars in the castle that like you can mess around with and find. The slide in the room with you have to go through Princess Peach's mural on the right to go into the slide. I do like a lot of the hidden stuff. I think is super cool.
The thing I didn't like was
The wing cap level. Yeah, me either. That level sucks.
was how, like, there is no direction at times. Like, yeah, you get the hint camera, it points at stuff, but it's like,
You figure it out.
how? A lot of times, like, you know, as adults now, we can figure pretty much anything out given enough time and effort. But, like, you gotta remember, this was handed to kids. I remember, like, my mom going out and buying me an N64 and Super Mario 64 and just playing off it. Man, I was lost as a kid a bunch of times because of it. Granted, yeah, you do get to figure it out. Or, like, you go to a friend's house and he's been playing it and you're like, oh, how'd you get past that level? And he goes back and he shows you or something.
Well, there's
That was the great thing about back then, too, as far as, like, gaming goes. Being able to just, like, take your card out, go to your friend's place, and you're like, can you help me with this level? You didn't have to bring your entire console or anything.
yeah, there's definitely games like that. Link to the Past comes to mind, where it's just like, as a kid, I had no clue what I was doing with it. I went to the village and I was like, the village is cool. I'm gonna mess around in the village. The end. That's my like Link to the Past skills as a child. Now playing it, I was like, I didn't do like any of the dungeons. I had no clue what I was doing, just wandering around completely lost. So it is nice. It is nice, like you had mentioned, that like, yeah, they kind of keep a leash on you. You really cannot get that lost. Like, here's 20 doors. You can open 2 of them, right? So you really can't get that far without knowing where to go.
Yeah, no, I remember playing this game a bunch. I remember taking it to friends and we would play it together. It's just, you know, even like the downsides it has, still one of my favorite games for the 64, hands down. I don't think there's really a game on the 64 that can beat it.
Super bowling,
Nope.
clay fighters,
European golf.
PGA Europe.
yeah.
PGA European golf. There we go.
That's the unsung hero here, and that's the European golf. There's probably the thing. Like, I think I would much rather play if there was only one game I could play on the Nintendo 64 by myself. Obviously, I think that pretty much anybody would choose Super Mario Brothers 64, and then I think anybody in their right mind, if you had 3 friends, which some of us did, some of us didn't. Alex,
I want to remind you that's your name too.
I don't think that anything really beats Smash, but
Oh yeah.
just because there's so much.
All right.
Depends on your friend group, because
Well-
I could see some people playing Mario Kart. I could see some people also saying GoldenEye. So
Ooh, yeah, GoldenEye you had to grow up with. It. I
Here,
never
here's
played
the real
nearly as
question.
much
I got a
as
real
GoldenEye.
question for you guys. Is Smash a Mario game?
no, just because Mario's in it doesn't make it a Mario game. Fortune Street's not a Mario game.
I classify. I have a list of 100 Mario games that I want to acquire, and all the Smashes are on there
Okay.
as Mario games.
I don't know. I feel like Mario Alex has authority on this subject.
I also though would consider Fortune Street a Mario game.
I just think just because Mario's in it doesn't make it a Mario game.
Well, it was called Super Smash Brothers, and the brothers part really just makes me think of the Mario Brothers. Plus, I mean, Mario is like the lead figure on almost every single one.
Yeah, but who now in modern Smash Bros. Who has more characters, Mario or fucking Fire Emblem?
Yeah.
So that being said, it's not called
Like-
Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem
who's the
Bros.
first-
Brawl and Ultimate are
Super-
Fire Emblem games.
Super Smash Fire Emblem. You know. No, Mario's the first, obviously, right? He's kind of the big one.
I don't know. That's what I think about. What about
No,
reasons
hold on. I want to follow this thread a little bit more. Would you consider Smash Brothers an F-Zero game? Because Captain Falcon's in it.
Definitely not.
Exactly. There you go. See,
I don't
would
know.
you
They got
consider it a
the
Metroid game
levels.
because Samus is in it? Would you consider it a Kirby game because Kirby's in it? I think it's yes, it's named after Mario. I would feel comfortable calling it. If somebody's like, I would call it a Mario game, I'd be like, I get that. But if somebody's like, yeah, I'd call it an F-Zero game, I'd be like, you are a lunatic. This is not an F-Zero
No,
game.
it's a Mega Man game because Mega Man and Dr. Wily are in it now.
It's also a Fire Emblem game because every single Fire Emblem character's in it.
If
so.
someone, legitimately someone argued to me that Smash was a Fire Emblem game, I don't think I could, probably win that. They'd be like, nah, it's a Mario game first and foremost, and then it's a Fire Emblem
it's
game.
got Roy and Marth and Lucina and Robin and Grom and okay, you win. It's got Sora in it, dude. My favorite Kingdom Hearts game, dude. It pretty much is a Kingdom
Bro, it's got
Hearts game.
Steve in it.
It's pretty much.
It's a Minecraft game. I love how we linked Minecraft twice now to this.
I'm trying to think of other weird Mario stuff.
Mario's missing.
Oh, that's
I mean,
a
that's-
terrible game. Oh my
But
gosh,
it is a
but
Mario.
it's a Mario game.
But I mean, that's just straight. It's like Smash. Smash is weird because it's like not just Mario, right?
Well, all right,
That's why I'd say
what about-
Fortune Street 2. 'cause
What
it's not
about
just Mario.
Wario Land and Luigi's Mansion? Are those Mario games
Correct.
technically?
Correct, because they're characters in the Mario universe in Mario games.
Yeah, so Luigi's Mansion is probably the tougher one for me. I would say Wario Land is a Mario game.
That was
Because
also a
Wario's
spin-off.
based off
Yeah,
Mario.
because
Yeah.
it was Super Mario
Ma-
Land 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
But
Mario Land
Luigi's
3 was
Mansion
Wario
is
Land, yep.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yep.
On my list of 100 Mario games that I want to acquire, Luigi's Mansion is not on it, but Wario Land is.
Interesting. What about
The WarioWares, those make the cut.
They do not.
really? Oh, I love WarioWare so
I
much.
think I own all the... Oh, I don't own Twisted.
Sure.
But I think I own all the rest of them, but it's not on my list.
Not on your list, sure. What do you think's the weirdest one on your list?
There's some DS games that I class Mario games. I believe there's a Princess Peach game
Sure,
on
Super
Nintendo.
Princess Peach.
Yep, Super Princess Peach. I considered a Mario game, and I do not own that one.
It's a tough one to find complete for sure.
Yep.
That's one. If I ever saw it coming in store complete, I would just buy it instantly because you never see it complete. DS stuff is so tough.
Once again, we always talk about if you want to play anything Nintendo and get it in nice shape and condition, it's probably not going to happen because at some point a child has touched it.
Well, it's either not going to happen or it's going to happen for way too much money.
That's true.
Let's talk about why this game deserves backlog status. I mean, we pretty much don't even really need to say it. Pretty much we've been talking about it endlessly, but Mario 64 is the grandfather of all 3D platformers, creating a solid foundation for most games, even modern platformers, to base their entire thing off of. With a solid game that holds up, simple story, fun levels, great music. Mario 64 is a game that holds up and holds up well. Especially when we look at
I
the modern
still look
state of
at the
stuff.
original and I can't really call it bad looking. the graphics for a 64 game still look phenomenal.
And it's charming. They set like a art style, and they like a relatively simple art
Yeah, it was
style.
like a
and they stuck
cartoony
to
art
it.
style almost.
Yeah, they weren't.
Kind of like I like how Wind Waker looks. Like I like how Super Mario looks. It's just like it doesn't have to be like realistic. It just has to look like that, and I like
Yeah,
how it looks.
and yeah, it's like they had a style and they kind of stuck to it. They didn't go for some ambitious like see Mario's pores on his skin, right? You know. But yeah, overall, if you're looking for something fun for all ages to play, look no further than Mario 64.
Another real question: is it the best Mario game?
No,
No, I can't say that.
Josh said Sunshine, right?
no, Fortune Street. If we're
Fortune
going by-
Street!
Fortune Street.
No, best Mario game's tough because I don't think Sunshine is the best Mario game. That's just my favorite. Honestly, if I had to go with best, I'd probably just say Odyssey.
What about you, Alex?
This is a question I fall asleep thinking to many nights, and so the game I have the most nostalgia for is Super Mario Brothers 3, and then I would say the most revolutionary game is Super Mario 64. But if you told me I had to choose one game,
Alex, you can
to
only
play
choose
for the
one
rest of
Mario
my life-
game
Yeah,
for the rest of your
well,
life.
sorry. Different questions. Yeah, so if you could only play one Mario game for the rest of your life, what would you pick? Probably 3.
No, I would do Odyssey just because there's so much more to do.
Okay.
But I would say that probably the one that I think is personally the most fun, just because there's so many Easter eggs in it, is Super Mario World.
Okay, what do you think if you like somebody said you have to? This is a correct list. You need to pick the right one. What do you think is the best Mario game? Just like period. When you think of Mario, what is
Objectively,
objectively? What do you think is just
objectively,
the
I would
best
say
one?
Odyssey is the best.
Okay.
But not personally to me. The
Right.
most fun.
Yeah. Not to you. Right. It's not your favorite. It's not what you like the most. But what about you, Alex? What do you think? What's your favorite? What do you think is the best Mario? And if you say 2, we're
objectively-
gonna slap you.
Objectively, I think the best Mario game is Super Mario World.
Valid choice.
But my favorite Mario game is definitely Sunshine. I love Sunshine so much.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick my top 3, it'd probably be like Sunshine, World, and Odyssey, something like that.
I don't even know what my top 3 would
Ooh,
be.
it'd be tough. I'm thinking of 3D World, which might make the top
Ooh.
3 too.
I really like 6 Golden Coins. I played that to death.
Mario
as
Land
a
2
kid.
Mario Land 2 is amazing. Mario Land 1 is not as
Terrible.
good. Not as good as 2.
Oh my
2 is
gosh,
really,
the
2's really
controls in Mario, that was bad.
good. Yeah, that was not great.
Yeah, 6 Golden Coins though, like that had just like, so my brother and I were 6 years apart, and I was in 5th grade and he was in 11th grade, and we both had just as much fun playing that game.
So Mario Land 3, Wario Land also holds up. That game is super freaking fun too.
Yeah. If I had to pick 3, I would definitely choose Sunshine, Super Mario World, and probably Wario Land 3. Those would definitely be in my top 3.
Probably my top 3 would be Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3, 6 Golden Coins.
And if I had to pick my 3, I'd pick Mario Party 7,
Oh,
Fortune Street, and
Mario is missing.
the Game & Watch, the Mario Game & Watch they released.
No. The real top 3 is Donkey Kong.
Wait, sorry, I forgot about Mario Kart World Tour, the home, the phone game. What was the Mario Run or whatever they had
yeah,
for a while?
Mario Run.
Mario Run.
Mario Run.
Not even I paid the $9.99 to play the rest of the game.
No, the best Mario game is Super Mario World for Lego, where you have to physically move Mario.
You joke. I want that so bad. It looks really stupid, but it looks. I think I'd have so much fun with that. I'm gonna give a shout out, and maybe you never heard of this, Alex. Super Mario 63 and a third or something like that. It is a computer flash game, but it was like a 2D version of 64, and
I
it is
can't say I've seen that one.
It is super fun, and for one dude making a Mario game at home that's a 2D version of 64 holds up. It is really good. I would recommend that if you want a free, fun little Mario game.
All right, closing statements, boys.
I would say, as far as myself, Super Mario 64 is truly the standard. I think that's where That's where the standard of modern day video games goes back to. For not just Nintendo, but all video games.
Josh?
All right.
Okay, my closing statement is Famitsu gave Super Mario 64 a 39 out of 40.
Oh, it's the highest Famitsu
It's the
score
highest
we've ever
It's
had.
the highest we've ever seen, for sure. I think we had like a 32 once. Yeah, a lot of 9s, 9.4s, 9.8s. I don't even see a bad one. The lowest I'm seeing is Nintendo Power gave it a 4.45 out of 5. Even that's still pretty good. Then Game Informer gave it a 9.75 out of 10 in 1996, and then they gave it a 9 out of 10 in 2007. They lost almost a full star
Jeez.
in like 11 years. GameFan gave it a 400 out of 400. What is your rating? Why is it out of 400? That makes no sense.
We found a new contender for the...
I'm gonna give this a 200.
the reviews.
I'm gonna give this a 281 out of 400.
I was thinking 273 out of 273.
Yeah, there you go. We should just come up with an arbitrary, we're gonna give this a 7 out of 7 here on the show.
We're just going to do a deep dive into, like, places that
give
had
this-
unfamiliar rating systems like Famitsu and stuff, where it's just ridiculous.
I would give Super Mario 64 triangle out of a triangle.
Okay.
Ooh,
Wow,
spicy.
it's the first triangle out of triangle we've ever seen on the show.
Usually I see squares at a triangle.
I've seen a lot of spheres out of triangle, but
see a lot of trapezoids at a
we should
triangle,
do
too.
we should do like fractions, like 13 and 2/3 out of 17.
Or,
I'm
like...
gonna give this a 14.33 repeating.
We give this one 1 divided by 0.
Yeah,
I give this one pi.
I'm gonna give this negative E
Negative
over
E.
4.
I'm going to give this equals MC squared. Just, like, ridiculous. 400 out of 400.
Just give it a 5 out of 5. I don't know if you were gonna give it a
Give
400.
it a 4 out of 4.
Just give it a 10 out of 10, man.
All right, well, this has been the Quick Save Podcast. It's been lovely talking about Super Mario 64. Surprisingly, Alex was nicer to me this time than he was last time. Go check out that episode where we talk about Super Mario 3. I'm just looking at him waiting for, like, the deviousness to, like, expel.
I'm just saving for the next one, my friend.
This is a happy episode. Everyone loved Super Mario 64. Not one of us hated it at all.
How could you? It's so good.
Except for all those people that put it on the DS.
if
No
if
comment.
you have a
I
DS
know.
copy, hide
I
it.
don't know.
Lock it
No
away.
comment.
Bury it in your backyard.
I had fun when I was like 10, so I don't know.
Subscribe, like, comment, show your friends. If you know who Chainsmokers are, like, go show them. Martin Scorsese's daughter, go show her.
Yo, send it to her on TikTok.
Yeah,
there you
send it
go.
to her on
She's got a TikTok.
You got any famous people that you want to listen
Try
to
and
this?
plug the podcast, dude.
I have a
Koji
YouTube
Kondo.
video with 1 million views on it.
I'm gonna ride that train to stardom, baby. Let's go.
That's right. If you have Goblin Commander news, Mario Commander news, Goblin 64 news, any news about those things, you contact us. We got a handwritten letter, don't we, Josh?
Totally. I'm holding it right now. Here it is. I'm holding it, and everybody can see it. Here's me shaking it. That's what the letter sounds like that we hand wrote.
It's got a lot of pages, man.
Yeah, look, it's pretty much a novel at this point. Just get this thing published.
Thank you for listening tonight. My name is Alex.
I'm Josh.
And Mario Alex.
Bye.
This is a 2-minute video.
And that's right.
Sorry, going crazy right now.
Call Dr. Mario. He's going crazy.
I would like to say that Mario Pinball